That's a little bit surprised with the substitutes Arsenal made in the second half. I thought they were in complete control of the game, creating chances. And as soon as they made the subs, they seemed to lose that a little bit. And Eriksen started getting on the ball, and Fernandes does obviously his great pass for Marcus. But United will get better. There's no doubt about that. Performance aren't brilliant. But in time to come, I think they'll get better and start winning a lot of games.
OK, we have a lot of time to reflect and get all the reaction from that game at Old Trafford, of course. But the Premier League weekend is complete, and suffice to say, or if I say, it was full of talking points. That might be something of an understatement. It started with a 0-0, but it didn't tell its own story in the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. 5-star show from Brentford. So many talking points. West Ham furious, but Chelsea won the game at Stamford Bridge. Newcastle equally furious to only get a point after their goal ruled out against Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest were 2 up and lost 3-2 at home to Bournemouth. Spurs unbeaten in 12 Premier League games now after overcoming Fulham by 2-1. First win in 13 league games for Wolves by 1-0 against Southampton. And Manchester City just taking a point. Aston Villa stopping the rot with a draw against the champions. And earlier today, Leicester rock bottom, 7 games in, 1 point on the board. 5-star show from Brighton, the first time in their history that they've scored 5 goals in the English top flight. And we have just watched Manchester United beat Arsenal by 3-1. So as I say, look away now, Leicester fans. It's not getting any brighter. 1 point, as I say, 5 defeats, and Nottingham Forest and West Ham, the other 2 teams, currently 6 games in the bottom 3. The 3 points for Manchester United nudged them up to 5th. They're a point behind Brighton, who won earlier today, who themselves trail Manchester City and Spurs by only a point. Arsenal are still top of the tree. They're a point clear, but that 100% record has gone. To the first goal, because you loved Antony's finish, didn't you, at the end of it? And he was saying that, they've already seen that in a couple of sessions in training.
Yeah, listen, I'll get it, put it out there. It's a simple finish for somebody like him. He's got a big area to hit. It's coming at him in a perfect angle, quite soft. It's on his left foot. Doesn't have to do much, and he gets a natural bend on it, so he can actually set it out even further outside the post. I mean, the build-up was even more impressive. The ball into Fernandes there from Christian Eriksen was brilliant. And do you know what? It was quite similar in effect to the last goal they scored against Leicester, but from the other side. A pass from out wide into the centre and then to the third man. But this is the area that Fernandes gets in, this little corridor between defence and midfield. First touch away from danger, and then he sets everybody free. But this angle that he's running in on here, it's... he would love a chance like that every game. I'm telling you, he'd score 9 out of every 10 of those chances. It's a simple enough finish for a man of his quality. And
on your debut, and you've cost £82 million, I mean, how important is that particular moment for him now to get that off his back?
It's so nice to get off the mark straight away. He did okay. Look, he didn't have a lot of the ball, and Manchester United didn't have a lot of possession, but what he did, he seemed to do quite well. I think it's a good point there about Eriksen going back into midfield. If Bruno Fernandes is in them positions, in them number 10 positions, he's not getting the ball last 2 or 3 weeks when it's been Fred and McTominay. But now with Eriksen, he's got that. Plays on the half turn, and we did a big piece about it. Plays on the half turn, he's always looking forward. We'll see with the third goal, I think, as well, possibly where he plays a nice little pass around the corner. It makes such a difference for these type of players, for these number 10s, to have somebody looking up, seeing them, and being able to deliver the ball into him. And Eriksen certainly provided that for Bruno.
Second half, Arsenal were on top, Jack, and the goal was coming, and Saka was the one who got it. At this stage, you were confident of the Gunners going on, weren't you?
Yeah, at the start of the second half, it was all us really. It felt at times it was attack v defence, and we were just waiting for that right moment. It came. Man United tried to play out from the back. Arsenal got their press right. And yeah, it was a great ball from, I think it was Odegaard, to find him in the space that Varane had run out from. Good run from, yeah, there we see it, Varane would have been there, but he tried to step in. Great pass. And yeah, then at that point, it felt like Arsenal were going to go on to win the game.
I think in those situations, if you're a centre-half, I don't mind centre-halves coming out with the ball, but you've got to be extra secure. I mean, they've basically exploited the gap that he was in. He would never have been... They wouldn't have even attempted that pass if Varane had still been in there. And as I say, don't mind people taking that risk, that's fine. but you have to be very, very secure. If you're going to come out with the ball as a centre-half, you have to keep possession. Otherwise, it can be in the back of your net 2 seconds later.
But you mentioned the counter-attack, 2-1. Are we allowed to describe this ball as Scholes-esque?
You can do if you want. I'll take it, Steve. Yeah. Do you know, you look down the years, we looked at all them stats, and these big games, you know, the amount of times we play in these big games and we don't have a lot of possession, it's all about doing the things correctly, getting to the ball and winning games by having substance rather than style. We win. You look down the years, Man United, they've never ever relied on being a possession-based team. They're not a City, they're not a Barcelona. They win games, big games especially, by being ruthless when they have chances. And it's been seen over the years. This team possibly hasn't been as ruthless as it should be. What a pass from Bruno. And Marcus seems to be getting his confidence back. He's had a really quiet spell of late, but in these big games especially, he seems to really liven up, and it's a little bit of a lucky finish in the end, I suppose, a little bit of deflection, but I'm glad for him, I'm happy for him, just hope he can kick on now.
Bruno was never going to say it when I asked him the question before, but both of those goals there that he had a massive hand in, both come from passes from Eriksen, and then Eriksen again breaking out of that line here for the third goal. I mean, the little ball that he played through for the second one was just as good as the through ball, in my opinion, and it looked so simple. He makes things look so simple. And do you know what, on this third goal, you never had any doubt, did you, that he was going to make the right decision? Some players, you're just comfortable when they're in possession. You know that they're going to make the right choices. You know they're going to lift their head up, and you know they're going to have the right weight, the right time, and he just makes that look easy. I tell you what, loads of players will mess that up. Whether they hit it too hard, whether they pass it too late and their mate runs offside, they shoot themselves, whatever. You just know Eriksen always makes the right decisions.
OK, so that is the 100% record over for Arsenal. Let's see what...
In transition moments they are, and I've been there and come away from the game and thought, we've dominated possession, but we've got nothing. And that's tough to take. And I think in the bigger picture going forward, the players will learn from that, the young players of Arsenal, and then they'll go there in the future and hopefully convert them chances and that domination into a win.
He said the VAR decision in the first half he found very difficult to understand. Yeah. You've seen it again and again. You haven't changed your opinion either?
No, I said that same thing at half time. I think it's very soft. I mean, I don't think it's a foul. No, Michael thinks it could be, and could be given either way. I don't think it's a foul. I think he's realised that he's going to lose the ball and sort of gone to ground. Tough to take.
And this is the exact point, isn't it? Whether I think it's sort of 55% of a foul and Jack maybe thinks it's 45% of foul, just not. That is the point. There's a grey area. Scholesy.
So it's not clear.
Exactly. You can't bring something back and re-referee a game if it's not clear and obvious. It was just this. VAR was brought in for howlers, for making a big mistake. And it's, oh wow, we've made a howler here. We've got to go back and rectify it. Not little challenges like that. That is re-refereeing the game. And whether I think it's just a foul or Jack thinks it's just not, that actually is vindication of why it shouldn't have gone back. It should have been a goal for Arsenal.
Yeah, I totally agree. It should have been a goal. Why he's even been told to go look at the camera, I don't know. He's made a decision. Why appoint him as referee if you're not going to go with his decision? He's 10 yards away from him. It's a little soft touch. You can see if you do go and slow it right down and go to them, honestly, you probably could give it a foul. But real time, it's not a foul. It's annoying. I'm sure it's annoying for Jack. It's annoying for the Arsenal players as well. And the Arsenal team, of course it is. But I go back to the possession where he's saying he's in control of the game with his interview there. Doesn't matter. There's so many teams in these big games. Jack will tell you, Michael will tell you. They come away from Old Trafford a lot of times in big games thinking, how have we not won that game? We've played great. But at United, it's more about a determination more than anything. You know the talent's there, but it's getting up to people, it's stopping people, it's being solid at the back. Having that solid back four now is helping them. Martinez coming out of that might be a bit of a worry going forward, but there's so many teams who come and think they've played better, had more chances. Arteta's raging, and they probably have, but it doesn't matter. You've got to score more goals. And United, when they were given a chance, were ruthless.
Yeah, he pointed to that, Mikel Arteta there, that the chances that went begging. How many more should they have scored today?
It's interesting. We had three shots on target. What was it? I mean, when you dominate a game like that, I mean, it's hard because you always feel like you're
in total.
You always feel like you're in control, and when you're sustaining attacks like they were, you think that the opportunity is going to come. I mean, David De Gea has made a good save there.
I thought his subs were shocking as well. I thought they were terrible. I thought they ruined the game for him. I thought they were going great and didn't need to change anything. Jesus, they all looked dangerous. Martinelli looked dangerous. Saka looked dangerous. And the sub just seemed to stop all momentum of the game, really.
I think it's the boys who've come in. So you think missing Partey, Sambi's come in the last 2 games. He's looked really good. He played in the team today that dominated possession. That'll be good for him going forward. And with all the games coming up, I think they're going to need the squad. We start in the Europa League on Thursday, and then it's pretty full on, and they're going to need every single player.
But when you look back at those, had they been more clinical?
Yeah,
could it have been a different story?
They could have definitely scored more than the one. Of course, we've already touched on the goal that was scored that was disallowed. So there's another one that they were unfortunate not to get. But no howlers, no obvious easy chances there. But lots of opportunities where you think could have probably done better. And he's got to convert that possession, that good play into more clear-cut chances than that. But David De Gea's played well. Man United have defended well. And even though you'd say Arsenal dominated on balance, on possession, on general play, Manchester United always look far more ruthless in front of goal.
And that is why they have won 4 Premier League games.